Hi guys, the name is Mark, and I'm gonna talk about a lot of important things here. And usually in the past, I always did my videos, and I like to keep them under 10 minutes because I know for a fact most people won't retain stuff that goes on for more than 10 minutes, right? So anyhow, I'm kind of waking up while I'm doing this, but anyhow, we'll belt it out. So. Sorry, just drinking some coffee here. So anyhow, it goes kind of like this. We're going to talk about a few things, and the reason why people get confused, right? They get confused is because they can't look at the bigger picture. And so it confuses them. And then at the same time, they've been told so many lies all their life. They call it programming. And you go to college or universities and they call them programs. And then you take lessons, right? And then you're learning and you take the L out and they are earning off you while you are L learning. Okay, so you're paying to go to school to get programmed and to get a lesson, right? Like people, I can't make this shit up, right? And usually school is a term that refers to a group of fish, right? So we came out of the age of Pisces, Pi says, right? So anyhow, basically people can't look at the big picture, and you have to understand that you have to be able to look at the smallest of things. Like say you look up one word, magi, right? And you will start seeing all these like synonymous words like necromancers, spellcasters, future foretellers. All this stuff, man, is it's it's work of the devil, okay? And I don't believe there's a devil in the world per se, but do I take the D out and you have evil? There's a lot of evil going out there. So people can't simply look at the big picture and go, that puddle of water, they don't see it for what it truly is, which is a pile of one droplet of water with another droplet of water and another droplet of water, and then you have a puddle or you have a river or an ocean or something. So people they can't look at the small things. And it's amazing because if you look at one word, say like magi or message or demonstrators, well, look at demonstrators, demons, right? But they'll say in the language, they'll call it demonstrators, right? But it's spelled right out in the wide open for you. And then there's another thing with the phonetics, right? I'd rather be hooked on phonetics than stuck on stupid, right? So there's a whole spell going on, and they call it spelling, spell in, right? And then they would call it a cursive writing. You're putting somebody in a spell, you're using cursive writing, then they'll give you a death sentence at the end of the day. So do you really know your sentence structure? I bet you don't. If you look up spell, it says to basically put a curse on somebody, right? Like people, I can't make this shit up. So effectively now we're gonna look at two words here: escapism and survivalism. Okay, so these two words right now, we unfortunately live in a world where everybody's in survival mode, which equals fear, face everything and run. And at the same time, they're into escapism mode. So we have two very important things going on here. Our life sucks. So after work, well, we have to go drinking so we can forget about our shitty friggin' day. This is escapism. Also, we'll watch these television programs, right? Live vision, right? The hand is quicker than the eye. These people, they call them programs on TV, and once again, they are programming you, whether you realize it or not. If you watch something enough, you're going to naturally program yourself, okay, people? So it's just this simple. So like I was talking with somebody the other day, and they're like, oh, they're taking Stephen Colbert off the air. I'm going to give you an example. I am not a big TV watcher. I could care less if I ever had a television around me. Yes, I watch shit on the internet, but that is stuff that I can learn from, and I am not being programmed by it. And if I am going to be programmed by it, it's because I know that I want to learn from it. So I don't mind being programmed by something that I learned that causes absolutely no harm to somebody, okay? Not even myself. So everybody's going, oh, Stephen Colbert, and oh, they're pulling him off the air. Does my heart bleed for this guy? I'll tell you right now, people, he was implemented by the monkeys that be. They all are. It's Hollywood. It's Hollyweird. Okay, people. Hollywood was the tree known for witchcraft, right? Like, I can't make this shit up. And this isn't, not an ounce of this crap is mine, people, okay? So I don't want to hear anything about that, okay? So not an ounce of this shit is mine. So you get back to Colbert, and my heart doesn't bleed, it's not going to bleed purple piss for the guy. I could care less. The guy has made millions and millions of dollars being on TV, and everybody's like, oh, he's always right all the time, and he's so true, and oh, he makes us laugh. And it's like, so while people are getting murdered in Palestine and stuff, or Trump is having ICE workers carting off single mothers and fathers and stuff at immigration offices, Colbert is telling jokes, same with the Daily Show, telling jokes about this stuff, and making it sound like it's funny, but not an ounce of this goddamn shit is funny. So if I laugh at Colbert's jokes, going, ha ha ha, yeah, he's right. Oh, these poor people, they're getting hauled off, but isn't that funny? Trump's such an idiot. Ha ha ha. Is this all funny stuff? I'm sorry, people. This is how perverted shit has gotten. They're getting enthralled in the message, the age of the mess. The age, right? It's a mess age, for God's sakes. What would a mess age be used for? Obviously, to create a mess, right? And so it's just absolutely cat shit insane. Just like, people say, oh, well, these guys do good. This is for people and stuff. This is all scripted programming, people. It's like people, oh, that poor hockey player got hurt. Okay, well, that sucks. I would never like to see somebody get hurt. But honestly, do I give a shit about this guy? No, I don't. Do I hope he never got hurt? Yeah. Do I hope he gets better? Absolutely. But do I care about somebody who's making billions and trillions of dollars, and meanwhile is going, oh my God, just like Ozzy, I was watching the other day, I don't know, Joe Rogan or some shit, I don't even watch him, but it popped up and it was interesting, so I watched it. I try to remain neutral. It's like all these people, oh, Ozzy Osbourne died and he was the king of metal, and you know what, people, I really couldn't give a shit. Did I enjoy Black Sabbath albums when I was a kid? Yes. Was it cool? Yes. Had we heard anything like that? No. Same with Ozzy records and all that stuff. But even then, you start looking into the guy and you find out that, like, he was barely paying his musicians while he's on tour. Him and Sharon are raking it in, and then you go, well, that's Sharon's department. I didn't know my all-star guitarist was only getting $200 a concert while we have a stadium full of 18,000 people at $20 a ticket. You follow me, people, right? So the whole thing, and then back to Rogan, he's talking about an episode on The Simpsons where the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne, sitting on this chair, and then they show the date and all this stuff, and I'm telling you, people, and then they say, did The Simpsons prophesize this shit? The Simpsons don't prophesize nothing, people. The Simpsons are in the private boys club, whether it be the Jesuits, the Masons, the Ashkenazis, the Roman Empire, the Vatican, whatever it is, arose by any other name, but these people, it's all been pre-scripted years ago, man, and then it looks like it's a prophecy because it finally comes true that Ozzy's doing his last concert and the guy's on his deathbed. What kind of sick shit is this, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do I want to see these old fucking farts when they're a million years old and they can't walk? No, there's a time when you pack up the youth, man, and you embrace the being elderly, and you grow with grace, right? Like, it's just pathetic. So, back to all this shit. Colbert's cracking jokes, Stewart's cracking jokes, and all these people are laughing. And it's like, oh, Trump's such an idiot. But meanwhile, while you're laughing, you're not doing anything about it. And actions speak louder than words, and actions talk louder than words. And talk is cheap and silence is golden. And the bottom line is, at the end of the day, you people should stop with this escapism. Oh, my life's so shitty, I'm going to go watch Colbert make jokes about Trump, but Colbert's right, so is and everybody laughs, and meanwhile there's not an ounce of anything that's goddamn funny about this. Personally, get off your asses and go surround this guy and call him out of the White House and his demonic demonstrating staff and be done with these monkeys, right? start a new government. Tell these bankers too to go fuck themselves. There's not even enough money in circulation to pay the debt. Trillions. Take out the T and the R, and you have ill ions, right? Ill. Everything's billionaire, right? Everything's in the air. Be ill, right? So you want to be ill, right? You want a million reasons to be ill. And meanwhile, too, something else. Everybody's praising all these people with money, but what are these people doing with all this money? They're certainly not helping the poor. And again, are they helping the situation at all? So now we're back to survivalism, and we're just trying to do our best, and we'll even join, say, the Department of Vice, right, to go and arrest people and haul them away from their families like Nazi Germany did. People. This whole thing is bullshit. And forget Germany. How many people did Mao kill? Stalin kill? You know what I mean? How many natives were off by the founding fathers? Oh, the founding fathers. Yeah, they were a pile of treacherous, murderous, treasonous bastards who wrote on a piece of paper, called it a constitution, right, to steal from you people. And you people go, but I have rights, and my rights come from a piece of paper. So, back to this escapism. Life sucks. People are escaping all the time. We have a society hooked on dope, hooked on this, hooked on that. It doesn't fucking stop, right? They're hooked on whatever it is, man. Everybody's hooked on something, and it's fucking bullshit, man. And we are escaping our true, real senses, which are divine, right? And I'm not using divine in die and vine. I'm using it in a good way, okay, people? So, what we won't do to survive. We'll join a nice department, and yeah, they're paying us $100,000 a year, and our kids are living good, and we're living good, and I got enough money to buy all the booze at the end of the week because I hate my job, and that'll keep me happy and keep the kids miserable, and while I'm drinking, so I'll just give them money to let them go to the bowling alley, right? Everything's about escapism and this bullshit, and I can't emphasize this enough. People laugh at all these stupid TV programs, and they think these jokes are funny and all this stuff, and even like people like Mark Carney and the whole nine yards, and Justine Trudeau and Donald Trump and all these senators. I did a video called Trump, the person, the persona, the trade name, his citizenship trade name. That's probably the best video I've ever done on Trump. That's probably the last video I'm going to do. I see no reason to put out more. I pass this stuff out, and if you people want, I suggest you look at that video, you share that video, and again, it's not like these comedy shows like Colbert or Stewart, where we're all talking about something and making people laugh, but at the end of the day, nobody's doing a goddamn thing about it, okay? Talk is cheap, silence is golden, man. Actions speak louder than words, and you surround the White House, just like this bullshit. Oh, he's a convicted this, he's a convicted that, and they're letting them into all these other countries. When would they let you into another country for stealing a candy bar? And then these other countries are spending millions of dollars on tax security that could go to feed poor people while this guy is going out golfing. Do you people? So there's not an ounce of anybody cracking a joke about this. That is funny. There's nothing funny about Philistinians dying over in Palestine, okay, which Israel has taken over the Ashkenazis ever since World War II, and the rest of the world gave them passage into Palestine. And meanwhile, Israel, okay, these are Ashkenazis, and even Ashkenazis hate Jews, okay, people? They hate Jews, and they used Jews to die in World War II, and Hitler was an Ashkenazi, and that's why they called themselves Nazis. The Germans were not Nazis. This is some serious shit, people. You people better wake up. You people better look at one word, one tiny drop of water before you add more droplets of water, and then you see the bigger picture. This is the only way you can put together the bigger picture, right? Like, how do I know Trump is not a citizen? I know because I'm not a citizen. I see what he's doing, and if I wanted to do the same thing and steal, I could do it because I'm not a citizen. But don't call me anything at the end of the day, because how could I be a citizen or a non-citizen? At the end of the day, man, these are all words, right? And the pen is mightier than the sword anymore. And, you take the S out of sword and you have word. You know what I mean? You take the D out of word and you have war. You have a war of words. Everybody's in a message. Everybody's right and everybody's wrong and everybody hates. You don't think like I do, so therefore you're wrong. Can you see the spell going on here, people? You people have been cast in a spell, and that's why they call it casting in like Hollywood movies and stuff, man. And even these politicians, they've all been casted, and they are actors. They're called characters, char actors, right? Characters, and they've all been implemented to demonstrate. Right? They're demonstrators. They're traitors, right? Just look at the words, man. And they're all delivering a message, and nothing ever changes. And at the end of the day, these people and these banks too, they whip up this money and, oh, here's your $500,000 house loan, tick, tick, tick on a computer. Meanwhile, the money just came out of thin air, digits on a computer, no different, printing money. Oh, just print that, cut down some trees, print it off, and we'll charge everybody trillions of dollars on a dollar. Like, people, I can't make this shit up, The whole government is a fraud. The whole government knows that it's a fraud, and they're just trying to play the game, just like that Jamie Raskin. No person in office shall do what Trump's doing. Well, Trump's not a person, and that's why they're letting it go, right? And they know this is the fraud, that he's not a person. He uses a trade name called Donald J. Trump, right, to trade in the public, which is the corporate name. It's the trade name, and he is not a citizen on the ship. He said he's not a citizen on the ship, but he will use, and had it notarized, that he'll use the trade name of Donald J. Trump, which is the corporate name. And meanwhile, you try to apply something to him, and it only sticks to the name and not him. And that's why nothing's ever done to him. Like, people, this is the last time I'm going to talk about this nonsense. But at the end of the day, okay, you look at, say, one word like message. Wow. You look at one word like magi, necromancer, spell casting, future telling, speculation. These are all words, people. You should never be speculating about shit, because the bottom line is you're a living presence, and you should remain in the present with your presence, right? PRESCENCE, presence, right? So anyhow, this is very important, and stay within and stop paying attention to these messages and turn off that shit box and get out of this escapism and the survivalism. I'll go fuck my neighbor because I have to survive. You see a problem with this? Or I'll go fuck my neighbor because I have my little boy to feed, or whatever, right? Or I'll go fuck my neighbor because my wife wants a new car and a new set of cupboards, counters, right? You follow me, people? This whole thing is preposterous, man, and money is not the solution to all our problems. The solution to our problems is you people go and arrest these monkeys, and you tell them that you're done. We are not paying your fictitious debts anymore. We are not listening to your fictitious laws. And again, that's that. And go and arrest these people, man. Even like here's how perverted things are. They'll talk about Trump. Oh, we didn't want him in Scotland, but what did people do in Scotland? We don't want you here. We don't want you here. So they didn't do anything. They all walked around and they all talked like a pile of monkeys, and look what we're doing. But did they do anything? No, they didn't. It's like going to a protest. Arrest Trump. But nobody arrests Trump, or, Trump this, Trump that. And nobody at the end of the day deals with the problem and arrests them. So they think by speaking out, well, talk is cheap, man. You can talk about this and that all you want, but until you do something, man, try to pick up the pen. Try to pick up the pen, people. You either do or you don't. There's no in between, and that's the whole problem with this escapism. What people won't do to escape their shit and get hooked on this and hooked on that. And then there's another thing. You have the biggest drug dealers on the world are these medicine companies, which the government's paying for here in Canada and stuff. So they won't pay for the private drug dealer to sell pot, but they'll pay for the guy who's making up dope, like these vaccines, these vaccinations, right? Sinations, that don't sound good, people. We have enough of a sin nation going on, a nation full of sin, and it's time we stop, man. You know, it's and something else. They'll even paint this picture. Oh well, people are evil, and well, you know, and we're stupid, and we need government to rule everybody. And who would build our roads? Do you think people wouldn't build their own roads? If you wanted a nice road, you don't think you'd build one in front of your house and start there and connect it to the neighbor's driveway? Come on, people. Stuff is not rocket science. You people have gotten so far away from the very essence that is you guys that you forgot. And something else, people are scared to get hauled away and carried away and stuff. Well, I'm sorry, man. You know what? People have tried to haul me away. They've tried to put, this is the price of freedom, man. They've tried to put me in a house. They've tried to steal our caravan from my girlfriend at the time who had 4 children. And, you know, nothing like stealing from a single mom with 4 children, right? Take her caravan. Then they planted stolen lottery tickets on it, in it, and then they stole their vehicle, and then we got it back, and we had to pick it up at the pound, and these people were casing me out, and these people were stalking me, these people were crashing my emails, they had hijacked my YouTube channel. You name it, man. But nothing is mine, okay, people? And freedom has a price, and this is the price that, you know, we're going to have to pay. And furthermore, when you're not scared of these people, they don't know what to do. They're beside themselves because they don't know how to deal with people who don't just bend over and say, yeah, man, give it to me. Right? You follow me? Okay. So peace when you stand your ground really freaks people out. And I don't need guns, and I don't need tanks, and I don't mean anybody harm and all this shit. So please, people, back to the escapism and the survivalism. Look at these 2 words. Meditate. Go inside and realize that you are unlimited, okay, people? You're not limited. If you think you're limited, this is what the universe is going to give you, is limitations. But if you are not limited and you are not dwelling on all this downward negative shit, and you take action, and you'll find yourself in a better place. And, like, you know, you people, seriously, like, you people want, hey, throw me some funds, man. I'll put together a small army, and I'll go get Trump and all these demonic staff, and here in Canada and over there in Israel, and there's a lot of people I'm sure would like to help me, and they would step up in a second, man. You know, it's like, I'm not scared of these people. You know, these people are all like behind the Wizard of Oz, man, behind the curtains of the Wizard of Oz. They're all old fucking pervert men who are pulling the curtains, pulling the strings, and you know, they're all a pile of decrepit old men, and people fear these people like they're God. No, I'll tell you, people, these people are not God, man. There is nothing to fear from these people. You simply go and you arrest them. You bring no harm to them. You throw them in a cell. You don't even waste your time prosecuting them. And you say, there you go, Trump. You wanted to not be a citizen and not have the laws apply to you. Well, we had to take matters in our own hands. There you go. And you people start writing the laws for the government and stop paying these taxes and all this stuff. You do not work for the government. So why are you paying taxes to a government that you don't work for, yet you say you work for? People, the fraud and the stupidity, man. So only government workers who worked for the government were supposed to be persons which were citizens, persons who were citizens with a persona, a name, a trade name, which would be Jamie Raskin or Donald J. Trump. And you can see how it's all just a trade name, and they put it up on buildings. And meanwhile, that's the name is not these people. How could I be a name? That's something that's written on a piece of paper, right? Just like people say, well, your name is Mark. Well, how could my name be Mark? Even when I was born, man, I didn't know, you know what I mean? And is Mark a tangible thing to begin with? No, even ever since I was a kid, man, I never liked my name, Mark. I always wondered why people called each other names. And you know, and then I find out years later that the name is the mark of the beast. You know what I mean, people? And people think that they are this persona. They think that they're this entity, identity that they carry around with them. And then people say, well, are you that identity? Are you Mark Simser? No, I am not Mark Simser, man. That's just a name that I use as a common reference so people talk to me and know who they're talking to. But even the last name, they don't need that. I have nothing to hide. I'm not in dirty business, shady dealings with people. So anyhow, people, I can't emphasize this enough. You know, that one video I put out about Trump, the trade name, the persona, and all that stuff, and how to stop him. please, people, I hope you share that. I'm not putting these videos out for me, people. At the end of the day, I can walk away with a clean conscience and stuff, man. And even me, I'm not a citizen, and I'm not an American. I'm not a Canadian. I have nothing to do with this garbage. And I seem to care more about you guys than what you guys seem to care about. You follow me? Isn't this ironic, man? Like, you know, I should think so, people, you know. And so anyhow, grab yourself by the balls, testicles, spectacles, wallet, and watch, and just simply go and arrest these people. And, you know, if 1,000, 10,000, 500,000 if you show up on you know, the doorstep of the White House, well, do you think harm's going to come to you? What are they going to do? Call in the military, and the military is going to start shooting its own mothers and daughters and everybody standing. Come on, people. See how fast I unveil the fraud and the fear. That's how fast you can unveil it, people. It's amazing, man, how being you know, just standing your ground freaks people out, right? And if 500,000 are standing their ground around them, I'm telling you, people, that's the solution to your problem right there, you know. Anyhow, I send you guys all green lights. I have no ill will towards anybody, not even Trump, but there comes a time when it's like, no, man, are we going to allow this guy to, you know, cause more damage to children and people? No. And furthermore, why aren't these children who have been abused and molested by all these people coming out, right? You know, like the whole thing's preposterous, man, you know? So you can see how it's all a lie. It's all a lie, just like Epstein. Epstein's probably alive, man. They probably pulled him out, took a couple of pictures, pretended he was dead. You know, already the cameras weren't working that day. The guards were sleeping, the whole 9 yards. Not an ounce makes sense. And I bet you Epstein's back out in the public, and he's probably sitting in Argentina right now. Okay, so again, I'm just unveiling the fraud and the lies, people. These people are all actors, man, and they're all acting, and they all, just like Kamala Harris and you know, Biden, they all had a chance to stop Trump, but they didn't want to stop Trump because that would have unveiled the fraud even faster, right? So anyhow, people, I send you much peace, green lights, love, namaste. Till then, keep your heads up, your sticks on the ice. Cheers. Bye.